You ready to suck some dicks?
No comment.
No comment. Alright. Myke Quest here with another straight shooting for the Rabblecast. Here with the director, filmmaker of Card Subject to Change, Mr. Timmy Disbrow.
Hello.
How are you today, Timmy?
I'm great.
We are here at Legends of Wrestling.
Legends of the Ring.
Whatever. But we're pretty much here today to talk to Timmy about Card Subject to Change, which is finally coming out to DVD.
Finally.
Yeah. This July 12th. July 12th. You can get pre-order the DVD over at Amazon.com.
Yeah. It went up yesterday on Amazon. It's on buy.com. It's going to be on all the digital platforms.
That's good. So, Timmy, what concept came up of doing Card Subject to Change?
I mean, I was a wrestling fan, you know, like a die-hard wrestling fan when I was a little kid. Went to WrestleMania 8. I sat 16th row. That was Hogan, Sid, at the Hoosier Dome. And then I kind of weaned off of wrestling for a while. And then when I was like 15, I thought I wanted to be a wrestler. But see, I didn't understand that you have to have athletic ability to do that.
Yeah.
And I have none of that. So I stuck around wrestling, just helping out, doing it here and there, referee a little bit, you know, just kind of keep my foot in the door. And I went to film school, and I said, man, this would make a perfect documentary. The independent wrestling, the world of independent wrestling, because it's never been really shown like in its entirety. You know, they touch on it here and there, indie wrestling, but you know, I said a whole documentary devoted to indie wrestling, because it's just the strangest business on earth.
Yeah, it's the worst business. If for those of you who want to start independent wrestling, don't. But anyway, you started filming back in 2005, was it?
Yeah, it was January of 06. So,
oh, 06. Yeah. January of 06. And you pretty much stopped filming in 09?
Yeah, like October of 09,
October
like
of 09. And you followed around a lot of great people. You followed around Kevin Sullivan. You followed around the late great Trent Acid.
Yes.
You followed around Red Titus. You followed around Corbus Spear for a little bit. A little bit. You touched base with a bunch of people. You had the last interview with Sherry Martel ever.
Yes, that is true.
So
she was a sweetheart.
She definitely was a very nice woman.
A very, very nice woman. It's a real pleasure to be around.
Touch base exactly what the movie shows about independent wrestling.
What we tried to do is we tried to cover independent wrestling from every possible vantage point. From a guy just starting out, trying to make it in the business, and for all intents and purposes, that was Red Titus in the film. You know, up and coming type of guy. To Kevin Sullivan, who went higher than Kevin Sullivan. Here's a guy who booked wrestling on TV. You know, came up with what you saw at when wrestling was at its highest ratings. So who went higher than that? Maybe Vince McMahon, but you know, he had the highest position at one point. And you know, and now to get out of the house on the weekends, he's wrestling independent shows. Because trust me, he doesn't need to be wrestling independent shows. But you know, he's sitting in Florida. You know, he figures come out, see the people, and, you know, get in the ring. Because it's one thing I've learned is that these guys can't give it up. You know.
Yeah.
It's like ingrained in them. So Kevin Sullivan, and then guys like Trent Acid, who was an independent legend. I mean, he'd been at the top of the independents for 10 years. You know, so from that vantage point down, you know, to guys, you know, who we just sort of profiled in the film, didn't follow at length, but like Necro Butcher, to show the hardcore, you know, that ultra-violent, that new wave of ultra-violence, because, I mean, I just wanted to find out why.
Why he does it.
Why.
Well, Necro Butcher's a very interesting people, and most people know about Necro Butcher, you know, is that he's actually a pretty intelligent person. He
was the nicest guy. They're all nice. We didn't deal with anyone who wasn't nice in the film, but he had the most juxtaposed personality. He's a psychopath in the ring, and he's the sweetest, most gentle guy outside the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we went to a show where we knew he was going to be, and we wanted to get an interview with him, and I went to go talk to him to kind of approach him about the interview, and he's sitting with his legs crossed, you know, one leg up on his knee, and I come over, I say, you know, hi, Necro Butcher, my name's Tim, I'd like to do an interview for this film. I'm kind of explaining the film. And he's from West Virginia. He's got that, okay, man, sure, man. And he's plucking thumbtacks out of his bare foot. And he says to me, yeah, just give me a minute, man. Like you and I would say, give me a minute because I need to put my jacket on. You know what I mean? Like, give me a minute. It was no big deal. Just, oh, yeah, give me a minute, man. While the rest of that sentence was while I pull thumbtacks out of my feet. You know what I mean? It was, I couldn't even, you couldn't make that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but he was the most gentle, great guy. And really had one of the best interviews of the film. His, his honesty and his, kind of reason for being doing what he does was incredibly justifiable.
I remember quoting what he says was, if I can fly around the world for free, having people pay for it just so I can put my body on the line to see the world, there's nothing better than that. Yeah,
it was something to that effect. It was like, I can do this, or because I can go out there and wrestle, like everyone else and not do it very well and no one would know who I am, or I can do this and go around the world and make a bunch of money. So he said, I think his exact line is, some asshole's going to fly around the world doing death matches, so I might as well be that asshole.
Yeah.
I think that was the direct, which is great.
What other great people do we have in this movie? That
Percy Pringle, my favorite person on the planet. I love Percy to death. I saw him yesterday around breakfast time. He's the best. We have him in the film with Kamala. The first time they were together on the same side in 30 years. At that point, it was 2006. Kamala, who's incredible. Sabu, who was awesome. Spent a weekend with Sabu for the film. He's incredible. Sherry Martel, like you mentioned. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people in this film. We also have what was it? Cornets in the film.
Yeah, interviewed. Well, you see the interviews and the interviews. There's a whole another crop. We have Jim Cornette, Tom Pritchard, Terry Funk, superstar Billy Graham.
Now, doing the concept of the independent wrestling, you're talking about all the guys who are in the independent scene now, but back then there was the territories.
Sure.
Going from territories to WWE or WCW, and now to the independents. What was their saying of how independent is nowadays compared to the older times?
I think the general consensus, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think what I got out of what everyone said was that the territories was a much better system, in the sense that all around the country there were guys making a living wrestling, and wrestling 7 days a week. That was where they were able to get their experience, where now there's, I think Terry Funk put it, he said, you need a stage to perform on, and nowadays, where are the stages? How can you become experienced and become a great wrestler when there's nowhere to wrestle? You wrestle maybe 2 times a month, in an independent. So it was, I think, generally, they all decided it was much better with the territory system.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of the old timers tell me, that how the territories are so much easier.
Yeah.
Because if you were starting to get stale or starting to get old, you just moved on to a different
territory. And they cooperated.
Yeah.
The territories, it wasn't a fight against each other. It was, hey, we're so-and-so's had his run here. Is there anything you can do with them? Yeah, great. And they worked it out for you, which sounds incredible.
It's pretty much a good trade-off, because they would always send people back and forth and whatever.
Keep things fresh.
Yeah, keep everything fresh. And now on the independents, you go everywhere. No matter where you go, you see the same matches.
Right.
So, but doing this documentary for so long, how is your feel on wrestling now, the independent scene?
My honest opinion is it's rough. I mean, just rough. I don't think we swayed the film in any direction to say it's good or bad, but I think it's honest, and honesty is that it's rough. It's a rough business. If you really want to, I was saying before to someone that if you want to do it on the weekend to kind of fulfill the dream, the opportunity's there to do that. And to do it to its fullest extent, to be in front of a crowd and to have a character and to have, that interaction where for those few minutes you're a superstar.
Yeah.
But to really try and make it, I mean, the odds are just so stacked against these guys, and it's a shame, because there's probably incredible talent out there, but it's the way the business is. I think it's kind of maybe hard to break through or stick out, or There's nowhere to wrestle. There's nowhere to, you got to get in front of the right people, and where are the right people?
Exactly. I mean? It's harder because the way I always put it is that no matter what you can do on independence, no matter how talented you are, there will be a schmuck out there that can do the same exact thing and willing to work for cheap, and that's how the fucking business sucks nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And that's where guys like a Necro Butcher, I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could go out there and do what everyone else is doing, and the way he put it is, and probably do all the moves incorrectly, and be a middle-of-the-pack guy. I could quote the whole film, because I shot it and edited it and watched it 5,000 times. He goes, I could go out there and do every hold in the book, probably a lot of them incorrectly, and be a middle-of-the-pack guy, and there'd be some other asshole flying around the country doing death matches, so I can't. So you have to have something that you can do that other people can't do on the independent. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but going back to the film, how were the film festivals that you and your partner James went to?
James Subbasis, the producer, yeah, incredible. We weren't sure. I mean, I'm a filmmaker. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I didn't want to make one of these DVDs that like we print in our house. Like burn a bunch of copies and stick a label on and sell them at a convention like this. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not what we want. That was not our goal. Our goal was to make a film and present it to the non-wrestling world.
Yeah.
That was really the big thing. I want everyone to come to the conventions and buy the DVD when it's out. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we wanted to break through the wrestling DVD world into the mainstream world and just kind of shed a little light. That was all we wanted. So when we got into the first film festival, it was like, oh my God, like this thing worked.
Yeah.
And it was like we made it in such a way that where people could understand it. It wasn't so like insider. You know what I mean? Like there's some DVDs you watch where you got to have a real base knowledge in wrestling. You already have to know a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my barometer was my grandmother. Before the film was done, I sat her down and I said, "Can you watch this?" I went to her house and I said, "Grandma, watch this. Watch my movie." Now when it was over, I said, "Tell me what you don't understand." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe someone said something, one of these gimmick or it said some in wrestling term, and she didn't. Well, I don't understand that. I said, "Okay, now that means most of the general public is probably not going to understand that." So we catered it to people who know nothing about wrestling, because the story really, not to sound pretentious or whatever, the film's not about wrestling. The film is about people, and the setting is in wrestling. It's not like a study of the independent wrestling business. It's a study of people. Because the characters are just incredible in this. I mean,
you have a huge range of characters.
Yeah.
Characters that everybody knew and loved growing up, and they see the new talents that are coming into the wrestling business.
And Dapper Johnny Falco. Well, we forgot to mention Dapper Johnny Falco, the promoter.
The promoter.
Who is as incredible a human being as I've ever met. He's awesome.
He worked with you pretty much, really, through the whole movie.
Film. Yeah, he was the first person that we attached to make the film with.
And you got a lot of key stuff of what a promoter does, and how people say promoters are scumbags, but when you watch this movie, you understand all the fucking bullshit that they have to go through.
I mean, he, from literally booking the building, to booking the matches, to cutting the tickets, to hanging the posters.
He does it all.
He does it all, and the guy is as funny a human being as I've ever encountered. And he's got a story and a history that is like, I couldn't hire a screenwriter to write a better story. He was a roller derby promoter. He worked in roller derby in the 70s. He skated, and then he was an announcer, and then he was a promoter. And from roller derby, he went into pro wrestling in the 70s. I mean, that's like something, on a TV movie. Like, that's not real. That's not someone's real life. Like, that's awesome to me. I could sit and listen to him talk about roller derby and that whole thing for days. Incredible. So, I'm very lucky to get him into the film.
Well, that's good. Well, is there any final words that you want to say about Card Subject to Change?
Just keep up with cardsubjecttochange.com. Everyone was getting on us real bad about when the DVD was coming out. We did get distribution with Cinema Libre Studio, who's awesome. Put out Oliver Stone's documentary, South of the Border, like really incredible stuff. We're very, very, thrilled to be in the same, catalog as these incredible films. They announced like last week that the DVD is coming out July 12th. It's going to be on iTunes and Amazon.com. You can actually pre-order it now at Amazon. On Buy.com, it's going to be on all the digital platforms. It's going to be on Xbox. You're going to be able to get it on Xbox Live. I don't play video games. I know nothing about this. I didn't know you could get movies on Xbox. You can get movies on the movie on Xbox, on PlayStation, Hulu.com. It's going to be on every digital platform. And in the next 2 weeks or so, we're going to find out what stores are going to carry it. Because you're going to be able to walk into stores and find it on the shelf. So just on our website and on cinemalibrestudio.com, you'll be able to find out all the information. And just thank everybody for bearing with us.
Yeah.
There's the barrage of emails. When's this film coming out? When's this film coming out? Between that and, just saying, guys, I swear it's coming out. Our main thing was we wanted to do it right. We wanted to do it the best we could and give you a great DVD. There's 40 minutes of extras, deleted scenes, outtakes, all sorts of stuff on the DVD. The DVD art's incredible. It's worth it. And please don't download it.
Yeah, don't download it. No,
that was the best email I ever got. Not to cut you off. The best email I ever got. About 20 times a week we would get, when's the DVD coming out, which is a very flattering email to get. Like, people actually give a crap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
About this project that we're working on. So, we answered everyone. If I didn't answer anyone, I'm sorry. But we answered, tried to answer everyone, with updates and, here's where we're at. Da, da, da. I got one email that said, it was basically, the long and short of it was, look, if this DVD doesn't come out soon, I'm going to find it online. I'm going to illegally download it. Like, threatening us. I was like, well, what can I do about that? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So whoever you are, have at it.
Yeah, have at it.
Because I'm sure everyone's going to download it, whatever. All you're doing is ruining it for yourselves, because then we don't have money to make the next film.
Exactly. Well, Timmy, thank you very much for doing an interview.
Thanks, guys.
And make sure to go to cardsubjecttochange.com.
Yes.
And you can also find also on Facebook as well.
Yes, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. When we get to 1,000, we don't have 1,000 followers yet, which drives me up a wall because some really dumb stuff has 1,000 followers. I want 1,000 followers, and then we're going to put up all sorts of exclusive footage that is not going to be on the DVD, is not going to be anywhere other than on Facebook. So at 1,000, we're going to put up some really cool stuff. So,
all right. So make sure people got the 1,000 so we can sell this extra footage. So.
It's extra stuff that I'm waiting for you guys to see. And, we made a deal a long time ago at 1,000. So.
At 1,000. Well, this is Timmy Disbrow. Sorry.
No,
I'm mumbled because I bit my lip last night.
Isn't that the worst? You bite your lip once, and then for the rest of the week you're biting your lip again because it's in your head.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
Be careful.
All right,
you're already in a cast.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. All right, Rabblecast listeners, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next one.
Rock and roll.